What's up YouTube, Fallout Freak here, and I'm back with another Vault video. So we did a Vault video to Vault 13 in the last one, and like I said, we're going to go from lowest to highest number. So the Vault we're going to be talking about in this one is none other than Vault 15. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about Vault 15. Vault 15 is a major location in Fallout and Fallout 2. One of many Vault-Tec vaults built in the pre-war era, the vault's opening after an overcrowding crisis served as a stepping stone to one of the most important developments on the former American West Coast. It was dwellers from Vault 15 that founded the village of Shady Sands, itself a founding member of the New California Republic, one of the largest known factions in the post-nuclear wasteland of the Fallout series. Background: pre-war. In its construction before the Great War, Vault 15 was exceptional as one of the few vaults which was constructed smoothly and without delays, despite additional work poured into reinforcing the third level of the vault to ensure protection against earthquakes. As part of the social experiment conducted by Vault-Tec, the dweller population was carefully selected to be a mix of radically diverse ideologies in order to observe and collect data on their interactions and potential conflicts over the 50 years the vault was planned to stay sealed. When the bombs fell on October 23, 2077, the dwellers reported to the vault and were sealed inside, with all contact with the surface, including other vaults, subsequently lost. As the years went by, the conditions within 15 deteriorated. Population control was not implemented properly, and by 2097, 20 years after the nuclear apocalypse, the vault had become overcrowded, with correspondingly bad living conditions. Once passive conflicts started to become more aggressive, tensions boiling to a point. Exodus and initial habitation. By spring of that year, Vault 15's internal strife exploded, and a schism fractured former neighbors into separate groups. When the vault's doors finally unsealed, most of the original dwellers marched out, beforehand taking the time to strip the shelter of the best equipment, including the Garden of Eden creation kit. By the end of the mass exodus, only a small group stayed behind, trying to continue living in the now gutted vault. The dwellers that did leave the vault went separate ways according to their different ideologies, eventually forming distinct communities of their own in the wastelands of post-nuclear California. The most significant of these was the village of Shady Sands, which was founded by the group that had appropriated the vault's GEC. The rest coalesced into some of the region's earliest raider tribes, including the Khans, Jackals, and Vipers, going on to terrorize the wastes for years after. The remaining inhabitants of Vault 15 itself continued along, eking out a rough living that changed after a group of raiders attacked the vault, which one is unknown, injuring or killing many while taking the last remnants of valuables the ancient bunker held. When the vault dweller emerged from the westward, Vault 13 in 2161, seeking a replacement water chip to save his own vault, he was given the coordinates to Vault 15 as the nearest potential source, but discovered too late that the control room of the vault that might have held a water chip had long been sealed off by rubble, forcing him to move on. Den of the New Khans. Following the fall of the Master and the rise of the New California Republic by 2189, their point of origin in Vault 15 remained untouched and abandoned, mainly due to arguments over the excavation rights between the Republic's more resourceful workers and independent salvage teams, as well as conflict from various other groups such as lingering raider war bands, desperate drifters who worship the vault as a place of safety, and ghoul scavengers. The largest problem manifested in the early 2240s when, after the NCR abandoned Vault 15 following another excavation operation a few years before 2241, Their ancestral grounds was claimed by a group of wastelanders with nowhere to go who formed a community known as the Squat on the surface. When the NCR tried to reclaim the vault and the vital computer parts within, they were prevented from acting in force by the squatters. The reason for the squats' obstinacy was twofold. Firstly, Vault 15, decrepit and run down as it was the only safe haven they ever knew in the wasteland. Secondly, they had secretly come under the influence of the new Khans under Darion, son of Garl Deathhand, who led the original Khans under their destruction by the Vault Dweller years prior. Darion had promised the squatters that in exchange for them keeping Republic interference out, the new Khans would have the vault restored to full function, providing them with shelter, food, and water. This was a bold-faced lie, as in reality, all food and water supposedly gifted from Vault 15 was the product of Khan raids on Republic towns and caravans. There was no life left in the ancient bunker system. The situation was eventually resolved by the Chosen One in 2241, previously hired by NCR President Tondi to retrieve needed computer parts from the old vault. The tribal warrior succeeded in brokering a deal between the inhabitants of the Squat and the NCR. They then entered Vault 15, slaying Darion and his new Khans, and retrieved the parts, while the squatters would open access to the vault to the NCR in return for annexation, education, and supplies necessary to survive and become productive members of society. The Chosen One's takedown of Darion and diplomatic achievements with the inhabitants of Vault 15 also served to vindicate President Tondi's policies of peaceful expansion, gaining the NCR a foothold in the northern wastes and inspiring subsequent years of continued expansion. Layout: Vault 15 can be found 9 squares east of Vault 13 or 6 squares east in Fallout 2. So that is a lot of it actually about Vault 15. Let me read you a quote from Katrina of Shady Sands. Unfortunately, we were crowded and life was very bad. There was a schism and many people left, taking with them the best equipment. Still, some of us tried to stay in the vault, but then we were attacked. I was hurt and I ended up here. Now I try to help people. Now, if my internet cooperates with me, hopefully it will, and it doesn't look like it is. Nah, it's not. But yeah, that is my video of Vault 15. So hit me up in the comment section below, and please tell me what you think about Vault 15. Me personally, I wouldn't know because I never played Fallout 1 or Fallout 2. I've played 3, New Vegas, and 4. But regardless, until my next Vault video and Fallout Freak channel video in general, you must always remember that war never changes.